Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Hope everybody's having a blessed day today. Let's see, did I do it right that time? All right, there we go. Well, it's a quiet morning this morning. We are, or I am, working on the house. I just gutted that side of the room over there, getting ready to paint it. Um, I gotta fix I ripped part of the wall out because there's um, the window ledge was all rotted out. I don't know. I guess somebody left the window open for a long time. Never dealt with it. Anyway, fixing on that. Getting ready to paint. We painted the dining room last night. It still needs another coat or two, but we got that started. And just having a blessed day. Figured I would do a live stream and see how everybody else is doing. Takes a little while for everybody to get notifications when we go through Streamlabs, so we'll uh, see how long it takes or whatever. Yeah, I did I've been doing video sermons lately, though I'm just now learning how to edit and all of that, so we got some of those coming out pretty soon. Um, they ought to be It ought to be interesting once I get in there and edit it and um, add the pictures and websites and stuff like that. Um, I've been working on that for a little while. I haven't quite got used to the editing, especially on the phone. It's not as easy. Robert Butte, how are you? It's not as easy on the phone to do the editing as it would be on a laptop, but uh, only laptop I got is the one I got from Ron, and it is in California at Sean's house. So hopefully I'll get that pretty soon. um, I'm doing well. Selena's at work, and I don't guess I'm driving today because I decided to take over night shift. I do better with night shift anyway when it comes to cabs. So anyway, I'm taking over night shift. So I'm gonna piddle around. I gotta paint this wall here. I pretty much gotta paint all of that, but I got the dining room uh, done. I've still got to do these blue posts. I don't know what they were thinking when they did that. They also got the runners on the ceilings are blue, and not a very good paint job, so we're painting over everything. Um, Try to get it rent ready, but I don't know. It may end up being a permanent permanent home for us. Grandma and them's really not wanting us to go. Selena wants to go. I'd like to also. I love rambling. I don't. I don't care too much for sitting still for very long, but usually it's because I get bored of a place. I really don't have a project of any sort. The reason why I stayed out there at Slab City as long as I did was because there was always something cool to work on and something cool to do. Um, some people don't work well with others. Some I work well with others. I just don't um, if they're in the um, slave driving mentality and I'm working uh, under them, I guess. I don't work so well in those situations, so I like doing things my own way. And I know a lot about the cab companies, so uh, I told my grandma today. I told her, I said, we got to work out something here to where it'll work good for everybody. And you know, she agrees. She knows I've got it in me to be able to do really good things with the cab company, but I I can't do anything when I don't have the control over that. And she shut night shift down. She got to where she just shuts the phones off and um, shuts the night shift down. And I just told her, I was like, look, here's a happy compromise. You'll still get what you get. Let me have, or when you shut down in the evening, just give me the car and give me the phone, and I'll build night shift up the way I do. That way, for one, it shows you what I can do. For two, it doesn't. I don't have anybody over me messing with me and harping at me or trying to dispatch or anything else. I'll do that myself, and it's taking over a shift that obviously she didn't want because she shuts the phone off and uh, calls it for the evening. So I'm basically just taking over a shift that she didn't want any which way, and that way maybe it's easier for her to trust me to take care of the whole business once she sees what I can do with the evening shift. It's hard for anybody, especially somebody that has worked a business for that many years. I mean, she's 81 years old and she's done the cab service in this town for, oh my goodness, a long time. A very, very long time. And she's a very independent lady, so she doesn't like giving up control of things very easily. But the only way that I can do what I know how to do with a cab company is I have to have control over what is going on with it. So that's why we come up with that compromise. It will give me a chance to show her what I'm capable of doing. It also does a shift that she doesn't want to do. And we're lucky if we get 2 calls a night. So it's going to be building night shift up to where it's running all night, and she's working on getting another car. So and it's going to be another great adventure, I guess, for a little while. I know Selena's not liking it, but we were talking about leaving. We've been talking about leaving because You know, um, when Grandma had asked me to help, when we had talked about it, I was under the impression uh, that we were going to, or I was going to work on building our cab company up, and it didn't turn out that way. Then I felt kind of like useless. I mean, I'm not doing anything constructive. So it was like, if I'm not doing anything constructive and anything worthwhile, then what's the point of me staying there? I love to ramble anyway, so yeah, definitely. Let's go to California. Let's go do whatever. And then we got next season on the carnival and stuff, But I got thinking about it. She's really needing the help, and it's not her fault that she's so adamant about doing things her own way, and she won't let me. She shut down anything that I was talking about, trying to work on with it, because she doesn't understand it and she doesn't trust it. She's 81 years old and she's set in her ways. I understand that. Times change and there's so much more out there that you can do and you can do things with. So I did even compromise. Tonight's going to be the first night, so I'm going to get out there and run business cards to all the bars and try to make some friends and uh, try to start building it. So we'll get more updates on that. So let's see how that turns out. Um, yeah, we let's see what else was I. Yeah, I stayed up half the night last night painting the kitchen or the dining room area. I left the kitchen the color that the color that it was originally. Am I gonna start a taxi business? No, I'm gonna build a existing taxi business. I'm going to build it up. It is down to where one driver during the day can take care of everything with absolutely no problems. There's only one car, and when I was out here last, there was two cars, and it was every single thing that both cars could do to keep up with everything. And then I get back now, and they're half the time they're at home. They get 4, 5, 6 runs a day, and it's went down to about nothing. When we came in for my uncle's funeral, and I looked around and said, "Grandma, what's going on with the cab company?" She said that it's just down to the loyal customers, the ones that stick it out to the end. I said, "Well, what's the deal with the fireworks stands?" She hasn't done permits and sold fireworks in the last year or two, a couple of years, and that's where she made all of her money every year. And that's when we got to looking around. We were like, and all she had was in the rent trailers was a bunch of unwanted riffraff type people coming in and out, and there was it was in bad shape, and we've been here a month. We've cleared out everybody. We've cleaned. There's nobody living out here except for just us right now, and we're getting the trailers back where they're rentable. We're working with the fire marshal, getting stuff ready because we've got what let's see, coming up the let's see, 4th of July season will be the next season for fireworks, and we've got to get permits ready. Got to get the fireworks trailers ready, and uh, I was trying to build up on the cab service, like I was explaining a little bit ago. I was trying to build up on it, but I couldn't do anything because I had no authority to do any of it. And Grandma is set in her ways. She doesn't like giving authority very much to giving up authority to do something, and I can't show her what I can do if she doesn't let me do that. So, uh, elderly programs for them. Yes, definitely. I am gonna check into that Tallywhacker. There's a few um, assisted living homes and stuff, but I'm working on night shift first. Uh, but anyhow, and I realized that she was not gonna give up the she's not going to let me take over and build the cab company up the way I need to, the way I know how to do it. She's not going to let me do that, and because I mean, it's been, it's been her business for years. She doesn't know what I'm capable of to do that. I know what I'm capable of. People in McAllister knows what I'm capable of. People that have been around me when I had cab service, they all know what I'm capable of. She doesn't really understand what I'm capable of when it comes to that. So that's why we made that. I got that happy medium. I told Grandma, I was like, look, uh, I don't work well the way it's worked there. I have to, I do better when I'm dispatching myself. I do better when I'm on my own doing this. All I need is a car and a phone, and I can make the cab company. I can build the cab company up. And so that's when we decided today that I'm gonna take over night shift. She's going to get when she decides to, and whatever time she decides on, probably be about 7, 8 o'clock in the evening. When she shuts down, she'll transfer the phone lines over. It'll be the same time every night, and I'm gonna start tonight and take over night shift and build it up. As of right now, they shut the phones off, but they only get 1 or 2 calls a night. They don't get no bar runs, no nothing. Grandma didn't want to do any bar runs. She doesn't like dealing with people that are drunk. I actually get a kick out of it. Go around the same block 3 or 4 times, charge them extra gas money, whatever. It's just funny. But no, I'm picking. Dad come up with a Jeff Foxworthy thing I watched. And yeah, take them around the block a couple times. They never know. Come back to where they started. Anyway, um, it'll. I'm building that up. Selena is working at the um, convenience store that is, or the kitchen deal that is connected to a casino, which is kind of funny because she don't like casinos. She don't like casinos no more than I do. She won't go in them. She goes into the restaurant part, and that's it. She won't go into the casino for nothing. um, but I do that, and then I'm also doing the extra runs during the day. The out of town runs and ones that nobody's got time to go and do. I mean, I got up and took off at 7 o'clock this morning. Was back here by 8:30, and my portion of it, I made $20. So I mean that was a good little jump. But I don't pay any rent here. I just kind of buy material and start building on the trailer. That's how we pay rent. And with the cab company, I'm just gonna put the money that I make. We're gonna live off of the money that Selena's making, and the money that I'm making in the night shift, which isn't gonna be very much, is what I'm gonna use to sink back into the cab company. It takes some money to do it. You have to do advertisements. You have to do promotional deals where sometimes you're paying out for for gas. At times, but you have to do what you have to do. You have to make specials and stuff like that in order to build the business up. So, car dolly, the car's home if your right hand man calls in sick. I don't know about car dialing, but we are going to run one special where where the trip home from the bar, if you're intoxicated, the trip home is going to be free, but um, it's to keep them from driving. But see, the cool part about that one is the next morning they have to get a cab to go back and get their car, and then you've got them for a round trip. So we're gonna do something similar to that. I don't. We got to work out the details on that, and then uh, we're gonna do. I know we're gonna do discounted runs um, for the bars. Usually, the way I do that is um, if it's called a bartender special. And what I do is if you call in for a cab, then fine, you're gonna run a regular cab. But if the bartender calls in for a cab, then obviously it's for the people that are just very intoxicated and don't need to be driving at all, and we do them for like half price. So it builds business. So, but I don't know. I'm just thinking different ideas of what I need to do. Yeah, I've been trying to get her to understand that, or get my grandma to understand that. Um, you know, you gotta, you gotta. Um, some people have to be able to be creative. Like people get creative. Some people have to have that ability to be creative, and they can't just work like a robot where they're given their their commands and they follow them out, and then they're sitting there lost. They don't get to think on their own. I thrive. I do better when I'm thinking on my own and I'm just doing it my own way. Same way when I was doing tiling and flooring and stuff. If you just leave me alone, put me in a room, I can do whatever I need to. Stand over me, and it's just it doesn't work very well. So rebates for free drunk rides, save the lives of citizens. That's not a bad idea. Rebates for free. Hmm. That's a neat idea. I like that. And the other follow behind to pick up copy to get service. I like that idea too. See, that's what I want to do. Is when I did it in McAllister, um, what I did was I gave all the if a cop called us for a drunken disorderly or for what anything, they called us for anything, and the rides were free. But there in McAllister, we also were the only ones that they used the only number that the jail would give out to get a ride anywhere. They wouldn't give the other cab services number out. They gave our number out and our number exclusively. We did that, and we did specials for the bars. Matter of fact, um, we would have each night we would select a different bar, and that bar would end up with half price runs. Um, or you can find the specials like when you wanted to go out on the town, um, there was one bar that you could go to for, and it was only a $2 fee instead of a $8 fee, I think it was at the time. Now here it's $10 anywhere in town, so we're probably going. They're used to that, so we're probably going to keep it about there. Um, I think personally, I think it's a little high. I think it needs to be a little lower than that. Seen it in the ATL. That is actually a really good idea. Yeah, but I can't do anything like that with the other cabbie because we're only gonna have just me at night. There's not gonna be anybody that could go with me to drive their vehicle home. So we used to do the key in hand, and when we did it in McAllister, so I don't know, might imply that one. What we did was when they call in drunk, if they gave you their keys, which assured that they weren't going to go anywhere. Taxi confessions would tell me, I don't know if we should do that. There's some people talk some weird, crazy stuff out there. Yeah, you see a lot out there. But anyway, they would give us their keys, and if they came to the cab company the next morning and got their keys without a ride, it only costed them $5. And but if they called us, then we gave them one way free. I mean, the that night was free, but they give them a regular price one way when we go and pick them up and give them their keys so that and bring them to their vehicle. So they only ended up with one cab ride and they were able to get their vehicle. That was a good promotion for a little while because they liked that. They actually got two cab rides for the price of one. Um, but see, we made a pretty good little bit of money off of it um, uh, because of the quantity, the amount of people that were using it. So uh, it worked really well. See, this I'm having to start it out from basically from scratch because they're lucky if they get a couple of calls every night. Literally, the phone basically don't ring at night. Everybody already knows that she's had it shut down for a long while, where she doesn't run at night. Only on special, for special occasions, if somebody needed a ride that night and they made a reservation early or whatever. But when she gets ready to go to bed, she shuts the phone down and she's done. So uh, I just got to get word out there that we're doing night runs now. That ought to be fun. Bunch of advertisement. And give you a crazy cab story. All right. Well, let's see. A lot of them. Um, oh, the funniest one. I got the dispatch phone. I'm driving the cab, and I've got two of my other cabs out and running. I'm trying to dispatch everybody, but I answer the phone, and this guy is talking really, really soft, really quiet. Couldn't understand what he was saying. It sounded like mumbling to me. I was very, very busy, so I didn't have time to listen to it, and I hung up. Not even about 2 minutes later, phone rings again. It's the same number and the same guy is whispering. Only I could understand him this time because he got a little bit louder. Not much, but just enough where I could hear him. And he kept telling me, I need somebody to come get me. She's gonna kill me." And I'm thinking, what in the world is he talking about? She's gonna kill. All right, well, where are you at? and he told me a corner. And I said, look, I need a physical address. He said, I can't tell you which house I'm in. You'll see me when I come out. I said, you know, this is, we're supposed to use physical addresses because we can't. Anyhow, um, so I ended up going to the corner of, it was, A Street and Apache, I believe, in McAllister. Um, anyway, I went up there to the corner, stopped, turned the lights off, waited for a minute, and I could hear this noise. And I looked up just about time. This guy, I guess he had crawled out the window, and I didn't see the part where he crawled out the window, but I seen where he fell over, rolled down the top part of the deal, and literally come off the top of the house and hit right next to the bushes. Not on the bushes, but right next to the bushes. Got up, shook it off, looked around, scared as could be, and took off for the cab. Dives in. Just go, 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 go. I said, I need to know where we're going. He said, I don't care where you're going. Just go somewhere. Well, he went to describing what was going on. And I guess his old lady had caught him cheating on her. And had decided that she was going to make him pay for it. And she had had him tied up upstairs, and he had just broken loose and got out of that and was hiding in a corner trying to call for a cab, and snuck out the window about after he seen that I was there. She had already been, from what he was talking about, she had already been in the room after he had made the phone call. He was sitting there looking like he was still tied up. He was at least wise, that's what he was telling me. But anyhow, I thought the whole story was just crap. I seriously thought this guy was pulling my leg. And I'd say it was about 45 minutes to an hour afterwards. This woman calls. All irate. I couldn't understand anything she was saying. She was all rah, 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 this and that and everything else. And I understood her when she was like, she told me the address and said, come get me. Well, when she told me the address, I knew it was one of the houses over there. I just didn't know exactly which house. And when I got up there and looked at the addresses, it was the same house this guy had gone out of. Okay. And anyway, this woman come out, threw a fit, wanting to know where I took that guy, and um, that guy's not going to get away with this, and I mean, just all kinds of talking all kinds of bad stuff about it. The way that she was talking, everything that guy had told me had to have been true, because the way she was talking, she sounded psycho enough to be doing that stuff. And I'm sitting there like, do you need the cab? Are you getting in the cab? I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. And sure enough, she had called the cops. Cops showed up out there asking a bunch of questions and ended up arresting her and taking her. I had to tell the cops where I took the guy, but I wouldn't tell her. But you have to tell the cops. That would probably be almost yeah. There's one other one that was well, I don't know if it'd been funnier, but it was it was weird. We had a we had a lady that was seriously drunk, and I wasn't paying her no attention. She was in the back seat, hooping and hollering and singing and dancing around in the back seat and whatever else. And we're going down the road, and I kept seeing something in the mirror, like something was flying out of the car. And when I finally turned around and looked, it didn't take a couple of seconds to realize what was flying out the car. She had literally stripped down to nothing, and throwing all of her clothes out the window of the car. That one was interesting because I had to bring her to her house. Then I had to get out of the car, go and knock on the door, and tell her husband that answered the door that she's in the back seat of the cab, stark naked. That was an interesting conversation. There's a bunch of them. There's a lot of different weird stuff that happens when you're in cabs. That's just what happened in McAllister. Um, let's see, Duncan, Oklahoma. When I worked a cab service over there, um, went up to a gas station to go and get gas or go and get change. The guy had a 20 and he didn't have change. I didn't have change at the beginning of the shift. And so I went inside to go and get change, and I come back out in the cab. The guy, everybody, everything's gone. He got in the driver's seat and decided he was going to drive himself home, but I had the address. I already knew where I was taking him. He just didn't want to wait for the change. Um, that happened in Duncan, Oklahoma. Um, I don't know. You see a lot of weird, crazy things happen. Well, not just in cabs, just in everyday life. You see it if you open up your eyes and look around. Insane stuff happens everywhere. Some places more than others, but cabs are definitely unusual. I think that's what I like about it. Uh, I like to talk with people, so and most people they don't like to listen to you talk all that much, but when they're in a cab and you got to go all the way across town, they're kind of stuck. They have no choice but to listen to you, so you can talk away and uh, I wouldn't want to run a cab in a big town though. A big city, I don't know. I don't think it'd be quite as interesting, quite as fun. The smaller towns where you actually get to know the people and you talk with them all the time. It I don't know. It gets pretty fun. So I guess during the day I'm gonna be working on the trailer, and at night I'll be driving cab. Yep, that ought to be fun. Get ready for next carnival season if we still decide um, to go. I don't know. I just see what happens here. So got a lot of work to do to this trailer. Lots and lots of work. I think by the time I get done fixing this trailer up, I'm not gonna want to move out of it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna end up wanting to stay in it. I don't know. It's I don't know. It's just the being down in Louisiana. The humidity is insane. I wish I was out in the desert. Uh, God gave me this rambling heart where I just want to ramble all the time. I love getting in a vehicle and going somewhere new and starting uh, doing something different and exploring and stuff like that. So it's hard to settle down when you enjoy doing that type of stuff so much. So I understand a lot of these people that live in the conditions that they live in. A lot of them are there because they want to be, and it's a free lifestyle, I guess you would say. Um, not free as far as cost, but free as far as you feel more free. You know, I don't know if that makes any sense. Everybody quit talking. um, I tell you what, you really want to find freedom. Start start by searching for God. That is one of the most amazing things I've ever been blessed enough to go through and to see and to understand is searching for God and trying to figure out exactly who your maker is. Funny enough, you find yourself and you figure out who you are. And that's the most important thing in life, I believe, to figure out exactly who you are. You know, when God invented us, and I say invented because, you know, created anybody, it's kind of like a campfire. You go out there, whether you strike a match, flick a lighter, rub two sticks together, strike a stone on another, or however you do it, you create fire. But that doesn't mean that you've invented it. When God invented you, it means you're unique, and He has you unique for a reason. When you try to seek Him and try to find Him and figure out who He is and what He's done and what He will do, and try to figure out everything about Him, you end up finding out who you are. You find out who that creation that He made and how perfect it is. You find out who you are, literally. And I did that with all the traveling that we did. We've come into our own. We've figured out a lot of things that I walked around for years and years not knowing that I even needed to know that, much less ever tried to figure it out or look into it. But, yep, He created us all differently. He invented us, each one of us, because each one of us are different. Each one of us are our own unique person. We all think differently. We all act differently. I mean, some of us are similar in ways, but there's only one you. See, thumbprint proves that. One of a kind. As Mark Lowry said, that means you're a thumb body. Anyway, I love it when I get on these get to talking and forget exactly what in the world I was on that topic for. Forgot what I was talking about the first time around. Anyway, it's a beautiful thing. You know, I'm very thankful for everything that has happened, and those of you that have been around since the beginning with the YouTube, y'all remember when I first started. Yeah, it was fun, it was crazy, it was high times. Definitely smoked a lot. Just just stumbling our way through life, trying to figure out um, who God is, and thinking we knew who we were. And through all of the seeking and the things that we have accomplished with the grace of God, even the things that we failed at, has showed us exactly. I don't know if I've ever told y'all. It was fun and crazy, but cool. Yes, it was. I don't know if I've ever said this before, but we end up um, forming habits when you do the same thing repeatedly over and over. And one habit that was hard, it was a hard concept to take, but I made it into a habit. Every single morning when I get up and I say my morning prayers, I ask myself 2 questions. Every morning I do. And it has dramatically changed everything about me. The first question is, what does it mean to me to be a Christian? Well, a Christian is, it comes from the words Christ-like, which brings me to my second question I ask myself every morning. What does it mean to me to be Christ-like? Now, just because I ask myself them questions every morning doesn't mean that I don't fail. From time to time, drastically fail. But it puts things in perspective, because when you fail, and at the end of the day, you look at it and you say, well, that wasn't very Christian-like. That wasn't very Christ-like. Didn't do that one right. But then you realize just how much God loves you. He loves you through all the imperfections. It's our imperfections that make us perfect in His eyes. The moral of the story is you can only do what you can do every day, and every day it's a battle. Like the Apostle Paul said, I die daily. He meant that he he dies daily, meaning the old him dies and the new creature arises. To live as Christ is gain. How did that? Oh man, I can't do that one. I'll misquote that one. Guys, no. Never mind. I'm not gonna use that one because I can't. But anyway, when you think about it, and you set your mind to the love of God, and you realize that He did everything He did, He's already done. He died on that cross for us. He died for our sins, so they were already taken care of. The love that He shows in John 3:16, the verse that just about every person, Christian, non-Christian, atheist, every person you can imagine knows. For God so loved the world, He gave His only begotten Son, so that whoever whosoever shall believeth in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. You realize when you break that down that whosoever shall believeth in him, it doesn't say anything about the saints. It doesn't say anything about just this person because he has plenty of money, or just this person because he has none, or for this person because he lives in a mansion, or because of this, or just for this person that lives in a cardboard box. There is no discrepancy there. It's for all, for everyone. He loved us all that much. And then you realize that you fail from time to time. You don't do the right things all the time. You know, but it's okay. Because as long as you understand the love of God and just how important the love of God is, that love that becomes part of you starts cleaning you up from the inside out. So, for me to live is Christ, and to die is gain. There you go. I couldn't get it out. But yes. Actually, I had it really close. I didn't want to misquote it. But, oh, wait a minute. Sean, you just come in here. Yeah, I was trying to quote that one earlier. But it's the quality in which we live. The quality in which we live that we should ask ourselves. Do we live for ourselves, or do we live for Christ? Do we live for self-gain, or do we live for others? It all sums up to those two very important questions that I ask myself every morning. I've made it a habit. Every single morning I ask myself that, and I think about it at night when I get ready to relax for the evening. But every morning I ask myself, what does it mean to me to be a Christian? And the second question is, what does it mean to me to be Christ-like? And just asking yourself those two questions. I don't know if it works for everybody. I know that it has made such an impact on my life that I wouldn't want it any other way. But just asking myself those two questions every morning has done some amazing, amazing things in my life. I mean, I still ramble around. I still don't have much of nothing, but I really don't care for material items. I know in my heart that this is, I mean, it doesn't matter if I live to be 100 years old or 500 years old. Lifetime is only a flash of time compared to eternity. So what we do here, you know, what we have here and what we accumulate here means nothing. It's who we are that means something. Are we a follower of Christ? Are we a child of God that is passionate about Christ? Are we a non-believer because we don't know anything about it? Are we an atheist? These are all questions that you have to evaluate and ask yourself. Where do you stand? You know, the whole reason why I got away from church is because of the teachings of church. Just like I've learned that like the side of my car said, that God is love, love for everyone, and it's the constant. It's there's only one true God. But yet, when you look at Christians, it's always the same questions. You tell them you're a Christian. Really, what kind of church do you belong to? Are you a Baptist or are you a Pentecostal? Are you apostolic or are you Catholic? Are you, it, the reason why there's so many different religion is because of the division in between it. And with Christ, there is no division. So why isn't when religion is talked, there's always a division? There's always a difference, an argument of sorts. That's why people they don't talk about politics, and they don't talk about religion. Why? Because they spawn arguments too quickly, too easily. Why? Because everybody thinks differently. If we understand that we are all God's creation, and until the day we pass, we're not going to know exactly what's on the other side. That's why most of us Christians live by faith. I have faith in God that the stories that are told to me from the Bible are true, and we have mansions awaiting us in heaven. We have eternal life in heaven. But my belief may be different than someone else's. But does that make them any different? Does that make it right to judge them? Should we not teach them what we know? But not judge them? But not ridicule them? You go into a church, and that's the first place that judges you. The downfall of Christianity is the Christians themselves. They speak God's love with their mouth, but with their actions, they show quite different side of them. Any of us that calls ourselves Christians needs to realize that when we go to judging people around us, we go to discriminating against not wanting to help this person because he's an atheist, not wanting to help this person because this person does something that you seem to think is a sin, and not understanding, like what Philippians says about seeking out your own salvation with fear and trembling. I think it's in his 2nd chapter. When you go into a church, you're going to be led by a guy that has his own understanding on it. You're not going to agree with everything that person says all the time, but out of love and trust in God, you can decipher the difference. It's not meant to argue about. There's no point in arguing. There's no point in getting upset with anyone because of a different viewpoint. That's why I tell everybody, make sure when I tell you anything that comes from the Bible, please research it. Check it out for yourself. Make sure I'm right. We may be perfect in God's eyes, but we're not perfect in each other's eyes. And why is that? Why does a person that would rather live in a cardboard box than he would a mansion, why is he frowned upon? Why is he looked at as something that, or someone that is beneath you? You know, if Jesus comes back in our lifetime, I'm sure he'll do the same as he's done before. When he came in the form of Jesus, he came as a servant when he should have been a king. He came humble when he had all the power in the world. He came to us as a humble servant. And he was that way all the way up until they crucified him. So when and how do we know that the people around us that we don't show love to, how do we know that they are not angels? How do we know we're not entertaining angels unaware? Or how do we know we're not entertaining God Himself? He says, what you do unto uh, even the child, you do the same unto him. And what you do for others, you do the same unto him. So when you see that guy that you drive by and he's out there panhandling or he's out there trying to build him a mansion out of a cardboard box, and you are scared of him, you don't want to get around them because you're scared you're going to catch some kind of, I guess, homeless disease. I've seen that too many times. People actually think that there's such thing as a homeless disease. You're homeless, you got a disease, and you can't get around you, can't touch you, can't shake your hand, can't nothing. Why? Because a little bit of dirt. Come on, ain't nobody played in a mud puddle. You get dirty. But we would rather act as if we don't see them. Drive on by. Don't say anything to them. Why? Because they're the scum of the earth. They're they hinder society. I don't know, whatever reason that people come up with. They'll look over people, and what they don't realize is, that same attitude and griping, or that attitude and that hateful comments and stuff that you do to um, to somebody that is down on their luck, you do the same thing to God. You do this, whatever you're doing unto others, you're doing that to God. Gotta love the differences. Gotta love the well. That's why I said we are His invention, because He invented us all very different. I don't know how I got off on this tangent, but I don't know. I was thinking a lot about it when I did my studying this morning, and it just I felt very, very troubled about that. There's people, there's so many people out there. Just you see it every which way you turn. You see people that are so disrespectful towards each other. We watched a movie last night, and I'm sitting there looking at it. I'm like, why? Why in the world would they teach kids to act this way? They're we're living in an age in a we're living in a society now that gripes about the kids and complains about the kids are so unruly, but yet they're only products of what we've poured into them. You know, I don't know what the name of that movie last night, but oh, that was terrible. I don't, from a Christian standpoint, I understand why people give up hope on society because these these people that are making these movies and stuff are paying kids to get up there and cussing and GD this and get. Hold on now, I forgot the name of that movie. Ouch. Oh, Good Boys. Not exactly very good. It was amazing because I was sitting there watching that and I'm like, you know, kids are watching this and now they're thinking this is okay, an okay way to act because they've seen a kid do it on TV. Don't even get me started on the TV thing. I think that's the worst thing ever for the kids. It's all them video games and TVs. So we're teaching our kids to be inconsiderate of others, to lean towards electronics more than they would people. They would rather text message you, which a text message has no feeling, has uh, no reaction, no nothing. It can be misunderstood so easily. But they would rather text each other than to look across the room at somebody and, you know, tell them they love them. Tell them, tell them, tell them whatever. You know, they would rather text somebody or would rather play video games and go socialize with people. You know, it's become Hollywood is a tool of Satan. Yeah, don't get me started on that one either. Uh, Matter of fact, I don't even watch TV very much. We watch a movie in the evenings or something, but I've gotten where I don't even want to watch it. I don't like watching the news. The news is plumb full of propaganda. Uh, I think is the proper word for it. It's just all stuff to make you train your thoughts basically. So their way of controlling us. They show you on TV. They show all the movies, the successful women, for instance, or all these model type women and skinny, blonde hair, blue eyes type, you know, and it is trained women to think that that is what perfect is, and then the people that are heavier set that that don't look quite like that, they believe that they're supposed to look like another person in order to be perfect, and they don't see the perfectness that is in within us all. Each one of us is designed our unique way, and they use that to make people think that you have to go and buy $1,000 worth of makeup, which that's something I think is retarded. Selena, she puts a little bit of eyeshadow on or whatever, and other than that, she don't put hardly anything else on. Me, quite frankly, I enjoy it that way. It's more natural. Yeah, you see these. No offense. I hope there's no women that actually do this, and if there is, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna laugh. In my personal opinion, but you see these women they shave their eyebrows and then they paint their eyebrows on. You got that urge to just lick your thumb and every single time. I look at that. It's like, are you kidding me? What are you thinking? But yeah, the movies and they teach you you gotta have the best of everything. You gotta be and live this perfect life. You have to have this big, beautiful, fancy home, and you know we got a two-bedroom trailer here, and quite frankly, it's too big. Me and Selena are so used to sleeping little bitty. I have to. Yeah, that I knew this girl that used to do that. She used to paint her eyebrows all the time. I told her, I said, I, I called her up. She had worked with me, and I called her up and I told her, I said, now if you paint your eyebrows on again on our way to work, because I'd pick her up and take her to work. So if you're going to paint your eyebrows on again on our way to work, I'm gonna tell you now, I'm gonna smudge it. She got in the daggone car. She wasn't. She decided not to put the eyebrows on at all. That was even funnier. She got in the car and I had to take a double look. But the second time I looked over there, I was like, "Oh my God, are you serious?" But yeah, you got that tendency. You want to just wipe one of the eyebrows off, see what happens. No offense. I mean, I know people do that, and some people have to do that. That's all fine and dandy. It's ain't got nothing against it. I think it's retarded the way that these makeup companies and stuff, that the way that they advertise it makes people's self esteem. They cannot get good self esteem without looking the way society is telling them they have to look. Instead of looking at themselves in the mirror and say, "Hey, look, I'm a creation made by God, and I am made this way for a reason. I may not know what it is, but I am perfect in God's eyes." Instead, they look in the mirror and they say, "Well, I gotta look like that supermodel I seen on TV." Some of them go to the extreme. Let's not even get on the topic of they do the Botox and the nose jobs and the face constructions and all of that stuff, altering our very forms, the way we're designed. God's design wasn't good enough, huh? And lip liner, that is way dark. And lips, yeah, I know. Watch Botched. I watched that before. That they crossed the line there. They crossed the line that should have never ever been crossed. People try to act like God. That's fine. It's not fine, but I mean that's one thing. That's a line. That line is right there. It's a very fine line, but you want to act like God. Yeah, he says that we should be Christ-like. So yes, by all means, act like him. Don't try to take his job. Change his creation. Gonna alter what he found to be perfect. That's crossing over the line. Yeah, Botched. That was a That was a weird show. I don't know. I've been in one of them moods to just talk about things. I know we've done talked about probably 10, 15 different things. That's what happens when I don't smoke. And I've been out for a while, so. Dr. Pimple Popper. I watched that. I seen the commercial for that. Uh, I don't know whether it was on TV or whether it was on a YouTube video or something or another, but I seen the commercial for that at Dr. Pimple Popper. It's a lady. I think she's Asian. I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, Selena will probably get into that. She gets into them pimple popping videos. I don't think that's that. I don't know. It's gross. Turns my stomach. You want to see a good content? Let me put uh, video on while I'm sitting there watching pimple popping videos. Y'all would get a kick out of it. Y'all would laugh. That is yeah, it's gross, but I love it. Selena does too. You and Selena would get along real good. I don't. I watch them every now and then, but about time all that nasty stuff starts coming out of there, it's like, yep, I'm done. I don't want to see no more. That's just ugh. But I mainly just watch Christian videos and sermons, and periodically I watch the do it yourself inventions stuff. I like stuff like that. I thought I could watch it, but decided to cause instead. What's cause got to do with it? Hmm. Anyway, oh, that's bright. All right. Yeah, you can actually you see back there if you look in the very back. Well, let's see. Look in the very back. You see that ugly brown color, and then you see this white color like right behind me. That's what I was painting everything white. That's the difference of that ugly old color. Just didn't turn out right at all. Yeah, that do-it-yourself is pretty cool. Been watching a lot of fun cooking videos lately to get hungry. Oh my goodness! Oh no! How could you be hungry after pimple popping? No. Yeah, my stomach's so tore up after watching something like that. I ain't thinking about food for a while. Uh, got oh, excuse me. Um, I'm kidding. Um, oh, another channel to check out. Attic Rats, you're in Slab City, aren't you? Or just outside of Slab City, aren't you? I think you were. I don't know. There you go. don't know if there are roads there. Okay. Oh, all right. Well, maybe it was another one, but I'll get into the plants and stuff. Look up container crops, and it's a lady that does she does videos help you build up your channel and stuff, but she does the um, basically like gardens in containers and uh, portable. Yeah, it's been nice and quiet today. I love it. I like good sit down chats like this. Yes, it's called Container Crops. Now, the lady doesn't do a lot of videos. She's got plenty, but her live streams um, are where you build your channel up. Shoot, I got 40 something subscribers in one night going to her channel, but she's got videos up of crops, uh, well, like gardens, but it's done in little containers and stuff. Traveling type. Anyway, I looked that one up. That's a pretty good community too. It that I've been in over there. They're all super nice, and there's not a lot of trolling. Um, as a matter of fact, I've been in about six different communities now, and check out my homestead channel. The Build Earth Bag Structure in Arizona. Okay. Check out my little homestead channel. Build Earth Bag Structure. Hmm. Okay. But anyway, I've been through a bunch of communities, and this community got hit probably the hardest with the trolls. It was really, really crazy um, how bad they got. And um, as a matter of fact, there's another community that it's more of a Christian community that that one of the trolls from our community, I'm not going to say who, had went over there and done a bunch of crazy crap and ended up swatting um, one of the guys in the community, and it was really, really disturbing. Uh, Knowing that they are floating from community to community and wreaking havoc on everything. Yeah, those pictures of people on cannabis grows. It's awesome. Nice. A family and all kids build all their own earth bedrooms. Nice. Scrapping dude. What's up? How are you? Sitting back, relaxing for a little bit myself, and then, yeah. Fix I have to head up to the front though. I've been on here about an hour and a half, so. But I don't know. I may do one again here a little bit later. Um, it's getting about that time. It's a little afternoon. Um, I hate to run right after several people come in, but gotta get a few things done. Like rebuilding that wall before I paint it. I'll probably do a video later on when we get ready to actually paint it. But I gotta go up front and work on some stuff up there. But anyway, I love you guys. Remember, Jesus loves you. Y'all have a blessed day. Oops. Wait a minute. I can't never turn this thing off. Y'all have a blessed day.